All right, everybody. What's up? Welcome to the Thomas Take Sports Podcast live on Spreaker.com, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I'm joined here by my good buddy Eric Ellis. We watched the game together today. We went to my dad's buddy's bar, watched the game, took it in, and wow. There's a lot to talk about, and basically throughout each part of today's show, it'll be in 15-minute clips. We're going to talk about certain subjects surrounding the game. We've kind of already covered some of them, but we might, brush through those again, just because of the fact that I did go live on Facebook via Facebook Live audio, and for whatever reason, it just cuts out. It doesn't stay on. It just kicks me off. So maybe Facebook is trying to get some royalties from me. I don't know. Probably not. But we'll see. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm joined by my good buddy, Eric. What's up, buddy?
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm not that good. It's been a very shitty day in terms of football.
Yeah? For the Bills.
Yeah, for the Bills especially. And, so what is your biggest takeaway from this game? We mutually agree on, our biggest takeaways, but I want to kind of lay those out for the listeners of the show. What our biggest takeaways are for this game, this 10-3 defeat by the hand of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So here are my two takeaways. One, fire Rick Dennison. Number two, get rid of Tyrod Taylor. I don't care how you do it. Just get them off this team. I don't want them here ever again. I just can't deal with the aptitude of offense that was.
The only thing that I disagree with that you said is that I actually do care how they do it, because I would take a dump on Rick Dennison's doorstep, and I would tell Tyrod Taylor to go play for Cleveland. That's how I would do it. And, people listen to the show, and obviously I'm just kidding. But what people, sometimes they listen to it and they're like, sometimes you're a little too harsh on Tyrod. Sometimes you're too harsh on Tyrod and you need to be nicer. When Tyrod has a mediocre game, when he does just enough for the Bills to win, nothing to really put them over the top in victory, case in point last week when they played Miami, when he does just enough for them to win, the fans are great. They're okay with him. But as soon as he has a stinker of a game like he had today, they say the same things that I say. They say that he's bad, that he does not belong as a starting quarterback in the NFL, that the Bills need to go in another direction. Why couldn't they see the light sooner? Why did it take this long?
There's going to be a lot of different arguments against that. And one of the arguments is that they wanted to keep Tyrod just to say they're trying, but in a different way. Maybe McDermott and Bean thought, you know what, we'll keep Tyrod this year and see if we can do good, if we can do bad. I don't know if it was their choice to see if
I think they were trying.
Choice.
I think they were trying. In short, they were trying to quote unquote save face.
Yeah,
they were trying to be like, hey, we don't want our fan base to think that we're really flipping the script on this entire thing, because we already traded Sammy Watkins. We already traded Ronald Darby. We don't want our fans to think we're completely hitting the reset button on this, but 100% we are.
Yeah, they are.
And that was seen with just the picks that they accumulated. That was seen with just their change of the culture, like the change of just, we don't think Sammy Watkins is a good teammate. We're trading him. He comes out and says, I wasn't a good teammate.
Yeah.
So they were right in trade. For that reason, if that was the reason why, which it was, they were right in doing that. My thing is, I can't watch another game
with Tyrod
as their starter.
Yeah,
I can't do it. And I want to watch them because they're my favorite football team. I want to see them do well. Because, again, they're my favorite football team, and they're your favorite football team as well.
Yeah.
But I can't stand by it. I can't support them.
Mediocrity.
If they are going to just accept the fact that Tyrod is bad and continue to put him out there. I think the best thing about this game is that they know where they're at. They know that they're really, really bad in that area.
Yeah.
And they know that quarterback-wise, they need to get better. If there was one takeaway? Like, what was your? I asked you this before, but what was your worst moment of your worst 2 moments of the game while watching it? You answered this question before, but I'll probably delete that, being that it cut out. So I'll ask you again.
Fine. So again, my 2 are going to be on the offensive side, and then on the defensive side. So
offensively,
2 different plays, but just heartbreaking, and just makes me so mad to think about. So first and goal on the goal line, and you don't run it in with Murphy, with Tolbert, with McCoy, even with Tyrod Taylor. You don't run it in with him. You decide to go for a pass play to Benjamin, a fade route, and
to the best corner in the game, mind you, one of them at least, one of them,
and it gets called as a pass interference anyways, and you get back 10 more yards. And so now all that progress that you made with that 4th down with the encroachment, neutral zone infraction, it just went to waste. Instead of 7 points on the board, you had to settle for 3 again. And it's infuriating to think about that and how inept the offense can be. And then defensively, my defensive play that
which is the same as mine.
The same as yours, is the botched snap by Blake Bortles, basically fumbling the football, and somehow still managing to scramble for a first down.
Like 15 yards.
At least.
It's like a first down and a half, which is really bad.
It just made our defense look terrible. And it's not... I don't know what to say. I'm just so mad.
It's not
the Buffalo Bills just
it's not,
had this happen.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not one thing that loses a game for a team. It's a multitude of things that helped them lose. That helped them lose today. But at the same time, this was by far one of the worst playoff games I've ever watched. And I'm not even talking about it as a Bills fan. I'm talking about it just as a football fan. I watched the Saints game. We watched the Saints game versus Carolina for like 5 minutes. That was fun.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed watching that. I got to see Drew Brees throw the ball downfield. I got to see Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram just truck dudes. It was fun to watch. And even Carolina getting that 58-yard field goal towards the end of halftime. It was 21-9. I don't know what the score is now. But regardless, that was fun. This game featured the 2 worst teams in the playoffs.
Easily.
They really did. And I hate to say that, but they really did. Blake Bortles is straight trash.
He's not good at all.
I don't know who it was. I think it was on the Texans. Someone said that he was straight trash. He is bad. Was it Clowney that said that?
Clowney,
he was right.
Yeah.
He was right. Blake Bortles is really bad. And the keys for me in this game were, like, really simple. I thought if they stop Fournette, if they don't turn the ball over, which they actually did. He threw an interception, Tyrod, today. If they stop Fournette, they play the field position game and keep them at bay, then things can be kept close and they can pull this one out. They can play small ball and Hauschka can win them the game. That's what I thought could happen.
I thought so too.
They did that, and they still lost. They stopped Leonard Fournette. He had 21 carries for 57 yards, and they still lost. This team, if being that this is the last game of the season, being that this is a game where you can go and kind of review the season and look at it, the things in this game are never, the things in a season are never, represented in one game. There's an entire season that you look at it week to week to week. What do we do right here? What do we do? What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? But in one game, I've never seen a team's strengths and weaknesses like microcosmed into one game. Like everything that they did right this year, running the ball, stopping the run in certain aspects of the season, Kansas City, but not against the Saints, obviously. They did well today, and everything they did wrong in the season with like Tyrod not having a passing attack was why they lost.
Yeah.
What do you think they need to do? You know, we got this question when we wrapped up the first part before it cut out on us. We got 5 minutes to wrap this part up. If you were the Bills, you got 2 picks in the first round. Do you trade one of those to move up into the first round and take a quarterback like a Josh Rosen or a Sam Darnold or a Josh Allen? Or do you do that and get a veteran? Or just get a veteran.
Yeah,
there's
both.
3 options.
Do both.
I would do both.
Get a veteran and get a quarterback. If you get a veteran, I don't think the need to move up in the draft is as essential as we think it would be. But it would certainly help. I mean, if they find out that, Josh Allen or Rosen is somebody they can go after, and there are willing teams that are like, oh, you're going to give us this much for him? Okay, we'll take it. I don't see anything against it. I would be all for it if I have a lot of faith, actually, in this front office
regime.
now.
Yeah, I do too.
In McDermott, and Bean.
Yeah.
I have complete faith in them. In 1 year, they crossed the playoffs when they shouldn't even been in the discussion.
Been in it. Yeah.
And it's just crazy.
It was when the guys that I kind of work in cahoots with in the Rock Sports Network, we did the Huddle magazine where we all previewed the season. And like each one of us, it was like the Bills' schedule was laid out. And I wrote which games I thought they'd win. I wrote which games I thought they'd lose. My final record was 8-8.
Yeah.
And I did it like 5 times. And I just wholeheartedly thought they could go 8-8. Like I was thinking best case scenario, 8-8. They barely miss out on the playoffs, but they make real strides that are seen and respected around the league. And they come away with a coach that I was jacked up when they hired Sean McDermott. I was very excited, and you were too. And
oh yeah,
we were both excited for that. But for them to go 9-7, there's more positives in this season than negatives, obviously, because I think the negatives are going to be eradicated, and they're going to move on. Praying to Jesus while I say that they move on from Tyrod Taylor, and move forward with a new quarterback and a new offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're in the red zone, it's 1st and goal, and you pass it. And the worst part of this is I have seen this with multiple NFL teams.
And it never goes right.
It always
rarely
fails.
Yeah.
It always fails. I saw this obviously with Seattle. I saw this fantasy Super Bowl week, if you want to call it that. I'm rooting for Ezekiel Elliott to get a touchdown because he's on my team. And they passed it, and they kicked 2 field goals and lost that game by 9. Yeah. They could have won. Dallas could have made the playoffs had they just punched it in with Elliott twice, bar arguably the best running back in the league. LaShawn McCoy is top 5 in the league.
Yeah, definitely.
Why would they not run the ball? That decision alone, I don't care if it's one game, the entire season we saw Rick Dennison make huge mistakes. By itself, that's fireable.
But I've also heard all these rumors that it was going to be a run play, and then Tyrod called.
Yeah, it was a run pass option. Which, if you're a goddamn coach, you call the play, and obviously I would want Tyrod to audible out of it. If it was a run pass option and Tyrod optioned to pass it, then he's a damn moron. That's all I have. If whoever's fault it was should never have passed that ball.
Yeah,
should never have passed that ball that deep in your own red zone territory. You're breathing down their throats, and you do that. So we'll be right back. We're gonna talk about some of the draft options in the next part of the Thomas Take. I'm Ryan Thomas, joined by Eric Ellis tonight. Stay tuned.